Very well.
Good to see you.
It's been a long time.
4 years. 4 years in the making, I think.
That's it.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
We're going to do, well, I'm 3 and 4 weeks out from my pro debut and I'm feeling a little fragile. So today is the last upper body day I've got before legs tomorrow. So it's not a massive day. It's a bits and pieces day.
Yep.
So yeah, a bit of push and a bit of pull and then maybe some light posing for Scotty Goebel, my coach.
Beautiful.
And we'll take it from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
No, I'm excited. I'm really excited. It just feels, it's kind of surreal that I'm back in the saddle or back in the posing trunks per se, doing it all over again. I've always said this, every prep feels like it's prepping for the first time.
Yep.
And it's incredible because every time, obviously, I'm dealing with a different body, a new body, an updated body, a better body, and the food, the approach. It's like been a serious evolution in the way we've attacked or gone about our prep. And this have to be the third time with Scott, and it's very different, very different. Yeah, so Iron Hub, this is where, this is essentially what I call home at the moment. It's where I do all of my training for now. Love the gym here. The equipment, the diversity, just enables me to really target some of the problem areas that I've wanted to bring up. Yeah, really, there's just no shortage of equipment and given this hour of the day, it's a good time to train. It's not too busy. And yeah, there's a couple of other fellas in here who are in a similar position. They're also prepping, so the camaraderie is really awesome. The support in particular is really awesome. And we generate a vibe that's conducive to getting it done and, you know, in a positive way. So yeah, it feels like the right place to be at this point in time. I'm going to get started. So, as always, I'll start with activations, and I like to just sit myself in the corner over there and get that done. Activations for upper body. For me, I've been adopting Andrew Locke, his protocol since basically 2020, and I've essentially been injury-free since. This initial exercise is what he coins as the big power 3 for shoulders, and it's just essentially waking up the scapula, the shoulder girdle, and switching on all the little muscles that control the shoulder blade. So, yeah. So the big power 3 starts on the floor. So I've just got to create enough space.
Big boy issues.
It's not about lifting heavy weights. It's about waking up the shoulders and preparing them for lifting. So, for me, this is a prehab protocol. But for some others who are carrying injuries, it would be considered a rehab protocol for specific shoulder injuries. So for me, yeah, this is what's keeping me injury free. So yeah, there are 3 movement patterns there. The first one, out to the side, wakes up my rhomboids and middle traps. The second and third movement patterns essentially wake up the lats, the teres major, I think it is, and you know, all the other muscles of the scap. So,
and that burns too, doesn't it? When you get to those 20 rep ranges, they burn a little bit.
Oh yeah, so this set's going to hit me pretty hard. This is only 3 kilos. But it's about control. Yeah. So that's burning already.
And that's the day done. We're good.
Yeah, but honestly, you know, after activations, it feels a bit that way. I've got to get you back in for leg training because the glute activations are a killer. And I actually tell my clients, you know, what I expect you to feel after doing the activations is basically that you're spent and you're left wondering how you're going to do your leg training thereafter. But yeah, it generally takes a couple of minutes to recover and you're off and running again. But with glutes that are switched on and ready to go, in this case, my shoulder girdle is already feeling warmed up. I'm going to follow it up with the next part of the protocol, and that is what's referred to as external rotation. 6 kilo dumbbell. I'll lie on my side, isolate my elbow, tuck it into my hip, and it'll just generate torque through my shoulder joint. Just really good for the rotator cuff. And it's about control. So again, we're not trying to break records here or impress anyone. In fact, yeah, I've lost count. It's important that you do the same amount each side. Close enough. Here we go. That bites. And then I'll back that up. I'll follow that up with a second set. But the important thing is I tuck that elbow in there. Just tuck it right in, nice and tight. And just generate torque through the shoulder. Right? Trying not to speed up too much. And like I said, this has gone a long way towards keeping me injury free. And I'm so thankful because at my age and a professional athlete, I can't afford to get injured.
At what age is that? Sorry, we didn't hear that.
I'm a spring chicken, man. Can't you tell by the way I'm getting up?
Yeah, okay. Although
45 this year. Woo. So I'd have to be one of the oldest debuting IFBB pros in history. I probably am.
I know, I can't back that up on the spot.
Okay, the lock lat pull is next. This is sort of the exercise. That's exercise number 3. Do you want to come on over? Sure. Oh, so just select a pulley. I like to pull from high up because it increases my range of motion. So we're just extending the shoulder here, adducting as well, but then there's a little bit of lateral flexion of the spine, which is the 3 functions of this movement. Because we are isolating the lats here. We're switching the lats on, which will help me stabilize my scapula and keep it into depression, which is really important for when I'm lifting. And here we go. So I'm leaning into it a little bit, just increasing that range of motion and squeezing. A little bit of tilt sideways. And the lats are working pretty much in isolation here. I'm also applying a couple of principles here. So you'll notice I'm not pausing at the top. And I'm doing all the pausing here in the contracted position. That's what's called constant tension. And there's a bit of a rhythm here that I like to maintain throughout. Squeezing. I'm stretching the lat. I'm really lengthening the lat here and then really shortening the lat here. So I'll do 2 or 3 sets. But Andrew in the past has actually had me progressively overload this exercise. So really help me develop my lats, which I think I have successfully done. Which is good, considering that was definitely something we focused on 4 years ago after winning the pro card. Why is this so biting harder? So developing mind-muscle connection, really important. This really helps. These activations really help switch on the central nervous system, connect the brain with the body parts you're focusing on, which is critical in putting the stimulus on the muscles and basically training for hypertrophy. We want to grow, so we need the stimulus there. And the best way to get the stimulus is connecting this with muscle and not just moving weight from A to B. Whew. I'm pretty much ready to start training, man. Here we go. Just a light warm up. Right, well that was just a warm up. And key pointers, I'm squeezing here, I'm contracting in peak concentric phase, but I'm controlling that eccentric and I'm not articulating, I'm not bending through the hips too much. So I'm really isolating the back, trying not to, get momentum happening. So yeah, being a compound, I'll end up having about a 2-minute rest period between my sets. So the next one's coming up.
Do you brace your core during this movement?
Certainly do. Pull the scaps back and down. I hold my breath on every lift, exhaling at the top and inhaling on the way down. And that's how I get a nice cadence that's constant in tension. So I'm never really pausing, and I'm doing all my breathing as I'm lowering the weight. Doing 2 working sets here, so this is the first of the 2. Here we go. So, probably 2 or 3 second eccentric, no pause at the bottom. I'm trying for a 1 second pause at the top here. And that's my tempo. Then the cadence or the rhythm is that constant tension. So that removing the pause at the bottom, really important. And then of course there's range of motion. So I'm really stretching, pulling through the shoulder girdle first before I use my arms, and then really going for the pinch at the top here. And I'm already that's on the verge of a cramp. So that's really good, really good. 1 set to go. Just a few loose ones at the end to ensure that I got the job done, Woo. Okay, another rest period, and then we're going to do the prone bench row, which is a great scapular isolation. Rhomboids, middle traps again, my focus this morning. Let's go over there. That's why I love Iron Hub so much, is pieces like this you just don't find anywhere. Awesome. So I'm not really worried about a warm-up per se. This could almost be a working set because I'm hitting the same area. So theoretically I'm already warmed up and ready to go. So I've just adjusted these handles to this position here. It was here. I'm actually wanting to really pronate my grip, flare my elbows, and therefore, put the bias towards my rhomboids and middle traps, as opposed to tucking my elbows with a narrower grip and really putting the bias towards the lats. So today, or this morning's session, really is primarily on getting those elbows flared out and really squeezing. Not too high though, because I don't want to target the upper traps, just middle traps and rhomboids today. I'll just adjust that seat a little bit. Obviously to lift properly and with good recruitment and bracing, you want to hold your breath on the lift. And then I'm exhaling at the top of the movement during the squeeze, and then on the lowering phase again, I'm taking my breath in so that I'm again removing that pause at the bottom, which is generally when people choose to take a breath. So yeah, increasing the intensity that way.
Oh, the guns are real.
Flat. I'm actually finding it very difficult to contract or feel that hard contraction.
Lost for words.
I'm very, very tired. I feel good, but I'm really tired. So that tells me the prep is going well, because mentally I feel great and I'm sleeping really well. So I know my stresses aren't too high. Cortisol being the main one, we all talk about. Obviously cortisol's not that high because I'm not waking in the night very often, if only just to go to the bathroom. But certainly not because I'm wired. And that's in part because I'm doing a lot of machine-based stuff at the moment. I've periodized out all my barbell work, free weight stuff. It's way more taxing on the central nervous system. Yeah, so, for years I was a squatter. Just season in, season out, squatting. But I've come to my senses and appreciate that there is a time to do it, and there's actually a benefit to not doing it all the time. Yeah, so the Smith squat I've adopted, the hack squat, the V squat, and the pendulum squat. So there are so many alternatives that keep the stimulus on the muscles but take it off the central nervous system. So it's just smarter. I'm going to do another machine-based movement. So hand position's a little bit different on this one. This means I'm tucking my elbow a little bit more, and therefore I am moving the bias towards the lat somewhat, because the last two exercises have been solely focused on rhomboids and middle traps. So I'm getting a little bit of help here by tucking the elbows. Makes the movement a little bit easier for me. So I can keep the stimulus nice and high as I approach the last exercise for pull today, and then we move on to chest. Here we go. I'm going to keep my chest hard on this pad, that's the key. So I don't want to generate movement through the hips, no momentum. So I'm focusing on 12 reps. So the volume's relatively high, but because my working sets are limited to 3, I'm controlling my volume based on how I feel. Each day, as I move closer towards comp time, I think it's really important to be a bit more flexible with your approach to training, especially when fatigue is more of an issue now for me. Having to manage that daily is really important. So, pardon me, breathing's heavy. Done, really spent. I finished short of the set, the intended set. It's meant to be 12 reps. I was going at 8. There you have it. It was just occurring to me then, I'm actually really keen to finish the session, whereas 8 weeks ago or even just a month ago, I wanted to be in here and not leave. So that's where the shift has really taken place. It's just, I just want to get the job done and get out and recover. It's important to make sure that your equipment's set up for you. Everyone's biomechanics is different. So don't just assume that the machine is ready for you even though the weights are not on there. If it's a machine that's ready to go, just be sure that all your ergonomics are in place. So for me, obviously I've got a certain length spine. I want the handles to be right in front of my chest, right in line with my pecs. That increases my range there, and I felt I was a little too deep in the seat. So I can... Oh yeah, feeling that now, feeling that now, feeling that now. A few quick ones, bit of a pump. Yeah, that's really acute. So that's what I'm looking for, the connection, the good contraction. Good stimulus. All right, so, shoulder blades locked back and down, chest nice and proud. I'm not locking out the elbow. I'm just stopping short, keeping the tension on the chest, and a little bit, I'm not focusing on a complete contraction or complete extension of the elbow, so the load isn't entirely on the triceps. That way I keep the tension here. So I'm sitting, did I say I'm sitting on about 110 at the moment?
No, you didn't say it, wait.
Yeah, 110.
110?
Yeah, which means, look, it doesn't mean anything, right?
What did you compete last year at? What were you on stage at?
After the carb load, I was 106. So, I'm personally hoping for a 6 kilo gain on stage.
Once you've done the weight.
But you know what? After the last couple of carb loads, I've lost weight. So it's really interesting. Like I said, every prep's different. It's been so incredibly different. I don't know what to expect. It's a different body. It's just, it's a different metabolism.
Well, how many years off stage have you had?
It's just over 4 and a half. 4.5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
So 2 of that was COVID, and another 18 months of that was a divorce. So, pretty taxing time. Nah. Just kaput really fast. Something to pay attention to, just watch my elbows. Elbow position. Ooh. 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 Control. Shit. Yeah. Shit. Elbow position. So I'm trying to minimize torque through my shoulder as I lower the weight. So I don't want the elbows to creep behind, because under load, that torque is not good for the joint. So we want to keep the elbow directly under the wrist and push. And we're just keeping the stimulus right here and off the shoulder. Does that make sense? I think it speaks for itself. But you'd be surprised how many people creep those elbows back to try and get a little bit of recruitment from, the muscles in and around the shoulder. Oh, I'm parched. I need a little bit more fluid. Ooh. Oh.
6 months on, dang, better to be back to the door, giving everything you have, the energy for that.
Oh. Oh my God. I can feel my shoulders wanting to creep in. So it's getting a little heavy. I need to be a little bit more conservative. Oh God. Just be glad to be done with this today. It's another tick. Just ticking boxes. Here we go. Short and sweet. That's not 90 seconds, is it? One, two, three, four. Fuck, here we go. No, shit. Just when I want to give it, another 10%, I just don't have it. Okay, well that's my chest and back routine done for today. Like I said, bits and pieces, push, pull, focusing on thickness today. Later on or earlier on in the week, it's more about width. So yes, I've been doing 2 back sessions for quite some time now, and I've brought up my back considerably. So that was the main focus this prep, or main focus this off season, was to bring up the back and create a better balanced physique head to toe, because my legs have always been a real strength. So let's see how it all comes together, shall we?
Needs a bit of a clipper, but yeah, too shabby.
Oh, look at that quad.
Stomach in there. Suck it in.
Finding it hard to contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got his bagels.
Yeah. This is what Scott's rewarded me with after training, is
A whole jar of jam.
20 grams.
A teaspoon.
20 grams of jam, a couple of gluten-free bagels. Not that I know I'm gluten intolerant, but midway through 2020 I was experiencing some digestive troubles, and the midsection was really bloating all the time, and my motility was just all over the shop. So it took a little bit of trial and error, but we got there and we just eliminated gluten first, and honestly within 2 or 3 days I was back to my good old self from pre-2018. So I'd actually been carrying inflammation for years as a competitor, which is why my waist is now tighter than it's ever been.
Beautiful.
So that amplifies the upper body and the lower body, giving me a better X frame. And that aspect alone is giving me a bit of confidence going into my first show. So yeah, it was a really lovely discovery to just sort of put 2 and 2 together and eliminate gluten first off the bat. And then a little bit later, my favorite food group of all is rolled oats. The, what is it, phytic acid? I think that can disrupt people's, digestive health. I removed it, and within 24 hours I was essentially noticing the change, and within a week I was back to, my good old self. So it's incredible what some minor adjustments to a meal plan does to digestive health and your ability to uptake nutrients and decrease inflammatory markers. So yeah, gluten-free, they've come a long way. I actually love it now. So yes, from here it's ticking more boxes. So nutrition, step counts. There's a little bit of cardio later today. Just doing 20 minutes, no, half an hour. I'm doing 2 hours a week of cardio. And there's a real divide in the industry about whether or not cardio is beneficial. It absolutely is to a degree. Obviously, you can do too much. But the nature of my cardio is extremely low intensity. My heart rate wouldn't be beyond 125 beats. So I'm not resorting to muscle tissue for energy. I'm quite honestly just very, very slowly but surely chewing into my remaining fat stores. And just leaving no stone unturned. And it's really that simple. From here on, I'll keep doing what is asked of me. I will check in with Scott next Tuesday. We'll see what the plan is from there. But until then, I just keep doing what I've always been doing, and that is just head down, bum up, and the blinkers are on. Just relentless with that pursuit. But I'll leave here with just one thing for the viewers, and that is, if I could offer any advice, it would be the best way forward is slow. Don't go about anything as quickly as possible. Don't look for shortcuts. I've been doing this a very, very long time, and health has been the utmost priority. It is for my coach, and it is for the people I coach. And with that said, you can't go wrong if you know you're in good health. The sky's the limit, and time is not against you when you're addressing health as your primary concern when bodybuilding. So yeah, slow is the fastest way forward. And on that note, I'm going to leave it, have my post-workout meal, and until next time, which will be soon, man. I really love that. Thank you. Thanks so much. Onward and upward.